right. So I graded the on Tuesday. Let's have a quick peek at the syllabus to remind people where they stand. So there's 3 tests, and that we've now had 2 of. So there are 3 tests and the final, which will count as 2 tests. And so then that is altogether going to be 5 test scores. And then I will drop the lowest of those 5. So it might be a copy of the final, if that's your worst test. And we'll have 4 tests and they'll all be equally weighted. Or if they this past test went through the lowest, then 1 test gets dropped and the final will count plus. So that is the test portion of the grade. And then labs are worth 20% and the homework is worth 20%. So I sent you an announcement at some point about where do you stand in this course to tell you how to do the calculation. And so you take the homework worth 20%, you take your grade and multiply it by 0.2. You take your lab, which is worth 20%, and multiply it by 0.2. And you take your test average, which now most of you have 2 tests, and average those and multiply that by 0.6. Total that up, that will give you your numeric grade. And then on the syllabus, there's a correspondence to letter grades. Everything in modules, everything marked homework is a homework, and you're supposed to either define the words or write the code and send that to me. And even the late stuff is still worth 90. Everything, all the stuff from Tuesday, since it's not a test, is a lab, and it's marked on the it's marked as lab. Sometimes I give you some demos, but within a lab, the thing that's marked as lab, they were both marked lab there, but sometimes I give a bunch of things, but what is due is, I keep coming up with just 2. Sometimes I give some demo stuff, but usually if it explicitly has lab in the title, then it's a lab and you have to send it back to me. And I don't know, some of you, I think you must be unaware that there's homework in lab because I don't seem to have any or much from you. Now it's still worth up to 90, so you can turn this course around and stay in it. But if you're not going to turn it around, then get out while you can, and that's this Friday. So back to the syllabus. So that's how you know where you stand. That's how you can figure out where you stand in this course. And then the last day to withdraw is this Friday, November 4th. So if you withdraw from a course, you don't get credit for it, but it does not affect your GPA calculation. So if you are going to fail anyway, then get out. If you're going to get a D, but you don't want that pulling down your GPA, then going to stay, then get the work into me. All right. Questions on that? No. Okay. So today, so we'll continue on with our array And so I posted some files for today. And we will parse I'll have a big long string. I will use the method split to, as we say, parse it. And when I parse something, when I split it, it will turn that big one thing of text into a lot of smaller parts of text, which will be an array. And I'm going to take this data, it's about horror movies, so I thought that was good for Halloween, and we will parse it. We will actually have to parse it twice. So we will make an array of movies, and actually it'll be a set of parallel arrays. And maybe when we do better, maybe we'll come back and we'll make it an array of objects, but for now we will have parallel arrays. Okay, so I need this file, so I'm gonna download it and extract it. And don't try to work with the zipped up file, that doesn't work. We need the extracted file. Here it is, this the horror folder. I'm going to copy that and put it in my 230 folder. And then I'm going to go over to Visual Studio Code, which is opened, I believe, to my 230 folder. Yes, there it is. If yours isn't, file, open folder, and open it to whatever folder you choose. And here is my the horror folder, and it has a text file which has this big long string of all the information, and it has these image files, so sort of movie posters. Okay, so now I'm going to start writing a web page. Then it's going to allow the user to choose a movie, and we'll display the poster for that movie, and we will display some information about the movie on our site. Okay. What do I want to say? Do you want the file in the folder with the images or outside of the folder? In the folder. Okay. So if we make that decision, so I'm going to click on the folder here. Clicking on the folder, if I hit this plus, then it creates my file, and I'll say horror.html. Once I've announced it as an HTML, then if I do shift exclamation point and accept the Emmet abbreviation, it gives me the main stuff for a page. I'm going to change the title to the horror. And horror. Okay, so we're going to have a drop-down select, select with options of the movies, but I'm not going to put any movies in there. I'm going to get the choices from that information. But I'm going to have that select. I'm going to give it an ID, and I'm going to select a movie. And then I'm going to have a break, and I'm going to have an image to show the poster of the movie. And I need that to have an ID. IMG movie. And then what else do I have? I'll have a break. And then let me look at the text file. I have the number is like the rank of the movie. And then I will have a rating for the movie. And then the title of the movie, the image of the movie will go into the image. And then how many people rated the movie to come up with this 8.7. and then a description of the movie. So those are the things I'm going to have. Let's, for now, let me just make room for the description, and then we'll see what we have time for to add later on. But so we're going to have it right now. We're going to have the title of the movie in the select. We're going to have the poster of the movie here, and let me make a div. And I'll say this is the div of the description. Okay. All right. So now I want to take this text, split it up, make my information, find out what movies I've got, and load them up into my select. So I need to do that. I need code to do that. And my question, and he's not here today, do you want to do it just straight in code that's at the bottom of the page, or do you want to do it in the form on the page load, on the body load? Body load, okay. So on load, I need a name. I usually call it populate. I'll call it populate. And so we need, I wanted a break here. I didn't really need that break, but all right. Down here, I need a script. I need the function. It's called populate. Okay. And I need that big chunk of text. And then I'm going to break the big chunk of text into, use split, and I'm going to make that into an array. And then I'm going to split that array. So there's multiple movies here. Here's this first movie, Psycho, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden here I have Alien. Okay. And one thing we're going to have to know is what separates one movie from another. It's the hashtag #, number, whatever you're going to call it. And then what separates the individual information is this vertical bar. These are known as the delimiters. Okay. So I have to make a decision of like, what is a local variable and what is a global variable. My goal is usually to have as few global variables as possible. I'm going to set up, when the person changes the select, I'm going to change the movie information. But I'm going to establish the movie information in populate. That's two different functions. So my arrays of information about the movies should be global, because I'm going to set it up in populate. So populate needs to know about it, and I'm going to use it in some onchange event of my select. So that function will need to know about it. So if multiple functions need to know about it, it will be global. But this original data, I only used once. Then the first array I make, which only has the first split on the #, that is also only used once. So they will be local to populate, whereas my individual things like the title of the movie and the rank of the movie and those things, they are going to be global. Okay. So what am I going to have? I'm going to have, let's start off, and I need too many things, but I need rank, rating, title, image, So let me make a few arrays, and they will be, do you want to say movie rank or just rank? Rank is fine. And that is an array. I announce that it's an array by saying equal square bracket, square bracket. So there's a rank, there's a rating. What else? There's a rank, there's a rating, there's a title, there's an image. That'll get me started. Title. And I'll call the image might be a reserved word. I'm going to call it, it's like a movie poster, so I'll call it poster. So I need more arrays than that, but that will get me started. And those are the arrays that I'm going to use in different places. I'm going to establish them in populate. I'm going to use them in the onchange event. Now in populate, I'm going to have some local things, and I only need for populate. They get for me the other arrays, but once I've gotten the other arrays, I'm done with them. So I put them here. And I have all this great big mother of a text, and I need a variable for that. So what do you want to call that? Text. Okay, I hope that's not a reserved word. We'll see. So let text and okay, so I did the let, I did the variable name, I did the equal, I did the quote. Now I got to come over here and what is it? Control, no, I need to control A. That was not what I wanted to do. Control A here in the file, that highlights everything. Control C, that copies everything. And then over here between my quotes, control V, there we go. So now I have all that big, long mother of a text there. Let's have a check. Does it all stay one color? No? Dracula. Something, something Dracula. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to undo. I'm going to come back over here. And I'm going to control, or what am I going to do? Yeah, control F. And I'm going to look for what? A quote. That's what's throwing me off. And there is the Dracula, right? And maybe I'll make that, there are 4 of them. So let me just find them and make them single quotes. So there's single quote. And there's the next one, make that a single quote. I could use a replace them. There. All right. There were 4, so I just replaced them. But yes, replace all would have been a better way. All right, so let me try this again. So I got rid of my quotes because they will screw me up. And so now I'm going to go back and I'm in the file, Control A, Control C, back to horror, in between the quotes, Control, keep doing that, Shift V, I want Control V. Okay. And just all this weird orangey color, it seems so. Okay. So now I have all of the text with no weird breaks between the text. And I want to use this method called split, and split creates an array. And now we're happy with arrays. We know what to do with arrays. So I'm going to make this is not going to be the rank and the rating. We have to work a little harder for that, but this is going to be all the crap about psycho, and then all the crap about alien, and then so on. So what do you want to call it? When I do my first split, I'm going to split on the pound sign, and I'm going to get all the information about psycho, and then all the information, but still with the vertical bars in it. Movie? Okay. Movie info. Movie. What do you want? Movie info. Okay. And I'm going to take that by doing text, split. I need my delimiter. And that should break it up into this. Now, movie info should be an array. And so console log or alert? Console log. We're going to show movie 0, the first movie, and see what we got out of this. So console log movie info 0. So I'm not doing anything to the page. The page is going to be boring, but I'm going to look at the console log. I'm going to look over in the console, and it should have the information about just the first movie. Okay, so let's see. Oh, it wants this to be saved. Not that I care, but yes, okay. Open with live server. Here it is. Nothing's happening yet on the page, but let's inspect and look at the console. And that's save icon thing. I can make that go away. But there's the information just about Psycho, just about the first movie, the 0th movie, movie 0. That's movie info 0. Okay. So now we have a bunch of movies in an array, and I want to split that stuff up on this time the vertical bar and start grabbing the rank, the rating, the title, and so on. So what do I want next? I want to break this information up, but I want to break it up for all of the movies. Or loop. We want a loop. As you know, arrays start at 0. What's my condition for staying in the loop? I is less than movie info dot length. And we go up by 1. So I'm not skipping every other movie or anything like that. So I am looping over the array of movies that I made. We took this big long string, we split it, that makes an array. We made that, now we are looping over that array. So we're going to visit each movie. All right, and now what do I want to do? I want to take all that information first about Psycho and break it down. Tell me what to type. I'm going to break that information down. I need a container to hold that information. So I'm going to I'm going to split it again. I need something to hold the results of the split. And then I'm going to take those things and make them my global array. But I need a name for this. This is going to be yet one more local thing that I'm going to throw away. So this is the individual pieces of the movie detail. Detail or details? I don't know.
Do like we already have them.
I don't know. I was happy with detail, but if people like on split better,
Like
unsplit.
Whatever.
Is that happier or okay? So, and what are we going to do? We're going to take the ith movie. You're happy with that language now, the ith movie, and we are going to break it up. We're going to split it on the delimiter of a vertical bar. Tell me what to type. Something gets split. That's what we split on. So it'll be split, parentheses, quote, vertical bar. But what's being split? The movie info I.
Yeah.
So we're taking the movie info is an array. We're taking the ith movie info. So movie info square bracket I. We are splitting it on the vertical bar. And alert or console log. Console log. And I'm going to pop out movie detail with what, and movie detail is an array, what index? No, I don't know. That could be a problem. The 0th one is the rank. The first one is going to be the rating, then the title. 2 is the title. What do you want to see? Do you want to see the horror movie titles? Yeah. Then we want 2. So again, nothing's going to happen on our page, but over in the console, we should see there's the psycho. I guess I still have that console log, and then here are the titles of the movies. Okay.
Connect those variables.
So now, exactly. Now we have our global variables, the stuff we want to remember globally, and we want to connect it to this sort of local detail thing. And so what are we going to do? We're going to say rank. Rank is an array. There is a concept of appending to an array or adding something to an array. It's called push. So I could push the rank onto the rank array. Or I could, so that's one possibility. Let's do it in multiple ways. And so let's do it with a push. And then I will show you another way because there's more than one way to do this. So I have this rank array and I want to take something and add an element to that array. So I'm pushing an element onto that array. And what am I pushing onto the rank array? Detail 0. Very good. Right. Not movie info, we're done with that one. But movie detail. And not movie detail I, because the movie detail that is a rank is always 0. The I is because we're going from one movie to another movie, but the 0th movie detail is always the rank.
Can't we just put the equal sign? It's not a push.
I said there was more than one way to do it.
Oh, okay.
And so now we'll do it with rating. We'll do what you want with rating. So rating what?
Rating.
Close. Rating is an array.
Rating.
Rating, you're getting closer. Rating, first time through the loop, we're getting the rating for the 0th movie. And the second time through the loop, we're getting the rating for the movie. Rating I. And that would be movie detail. Movie detail 1. I'm going to pop those two out into a console log and see if they both work. Console log, what? Rank I, and I'll put a space in there, and rating I. And let's see if both of these methods work. And here they are. The movie ranks were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then their ratings were 8.7 and blah, and they were all mostly 8s. Okay, because these were the top movies. Our movies don't get high rating. These are the best horror movies, so they all get pretty good ratings. Okay, so that's 2 different ways to do it. If you like push, use push. If you like the equal, use the equal. In other languages, JavaScript allows you, push is like, I don't know how many of them there are, and I'm going to add one more to however many there are at the end. But if you assign an I, then you're saying, I want in particularly this particular location to have this particular value. So it worked, both of them worked. But if I had if I made my mistake in I and had the wrong variable, it would put it in some other location. So it would work, but it might put it in a different location than what I wanted. So, but both of those work. I'm happy either way. I'm not going to say it should be this way or it should be that way. They both work. And now we want at least, let's do 2 more. What did we have up there? The title and the poster. How do you want to do title? Do you like the push or do you like the equal? Do you like this push? We'll do one of each. Settle. And this was movie details with an index of 2, movie detail 2. And then what was the last one? A poster. And do that one the other way. And just to generally drive you crazy. And that was 3. Okay. And there are more, but I'm tired, and we'll see how far we get, then we'll come back and do more. All right. So we've taken this big text, we broke it up into text for individual movies, then we started to loop through the movies, and then we took this bunch of information and we split it, and then we got our individual pieces of information. And we made our individual pieces of information global so that we could access them in other functions, for instance, the select. But I don't have any options in my select for there to be any select events at this stage. So I want to take my movies and use that to populate my select. I can do that in this loop, or I can make this the loop about populating the array and have a separate loop about populating the selected options. So do you want one loop, or do you want it broken down into two loops? Two loops. Okay, he wants two loops. Okay. So he wants to break it down into the information, and then he wants another separate loop. He wants it separated to populate the select. Okay, we know how to play this game of populate the select. First, I have to get the select. So I'm going to say I usually call it my select. And it's document get element by ID. We know this game well. And what did I call it? Probably sell movie, but let me check. Sell movie. Okay. I'm not grabbing the value of the select. I don't have any values in the select. I am grabbing the select. And then I'm going to do what? I'm creating the options for the select. So again, I'm usually selfish and call it my option. It's document. There it is, document. I'm not getting it, I am creating it. Create element. What am I creating? An option. And then I want to set the text and value of my option and then append my option. That's the part I usually forget. So my option. What the user sees can be called the text or can be called the inner HTML. What do you want? Text. And we're going to make it the title of the movie. So I'm going to use my title and my counter, my index I. Then I'm going to use my option.value. I don't give you an option. And what do we want to use for the value? I. Whenever you have an array, the most useful thing to use for the value, the behind the scenes, is the index of the array, which is I. And then the part I usually forget, my select, append the child, and I want to append my option. Okay. So now, hopefully, if this worked, I will have options in my drop-down select that are the movies. There they are. All right. Let's jump to what? What is, I have the rank, the rating, the title. I need the number of people and the description. So I'll call it the rate num. And the description. Description's too long of a word for me. I'll misspell it. So just DES or DESC. Okay. So I added two more of my arrays. I've been doing that here. So rate num and push. And what am I pushing? Movie detail 4. And just to keep going back and forth to drive you more crazy, description I is equal to movie detail 5. Okay. And let me just run that and just make sure I didn't kill it. I didn't kill it. Okay. Now I want to at least quickly try to write the select on change. What do I want to call this? Or pick, what's that? Poster? Okay, he wants to see the poster. All right. And so we're going to write a function, make sure it's not inside the script, but not inside any other function. And what am I going to do? I'm in the method that is handling an on select on change. What's always the first thing I do. If I had previous stuff cleared out. Okay. Well, we may have to do that. What's the next thing we do? Get the value of the select. So I'm going to say I'm going to own it as I usually do, my index, because what we're getting is an index. Or you could call it user's index if you want somebody else to own it, or the movie index, or the index. Document get element by ID. It was cell movie. And this time we want the value that is being selected, which is an index. And he wants to see the poster. How am I going to see the poster?
New variable, right? For the image. No, we don't need it.
We don't need it. We need the ID of the image. And then we need to know the poster array, which I think we have, and the index, which I think we have. What was it again? Image movie. Document. Get element by ID. IMG movie. Movies have the SRC, and we're making that equal to the poster. And poster is an array, and I only want to see one of them, so I need an index, and that is my index. All right, let's see if that works. Diabolique. There's Diabolique. King Kong. The Shining.
Outside, the images are in a different folder.
If the images were in a different, if horror was outside of this, then I'm not going to change it because I've already started, but I'll tell you what to do. If horror HTML were outside of this the horror folder, then I would, I'm going to copy it and then make it a comment. Then I would do, what's my the horror / like that. That's not right for me because I'm not in the, my HTML's in the folder. But if my HTML were not in the folder, that should work. And then we do description. So did I make a place for the description? I did div description. So I'll show one more document. Get element by ID. Div description. Dot. What's the property? Inner HTML. And what's going in there? Text and my index. Rosemary's Baby, a young couple move into a new apartment, yada, yada, yada. All right, I've got just a few minutes remaining. Rating, make a place on the page for rating, display it somewhere, rank, people, number of people who voted for it, blah, 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 just more of the same. I want, when my page comes up, for Psycho to be showing. I want to dispatch an event. Where do I want to dispatch an event? What event is it? It's the change event of the select, and that assumes that I have some options. So this is where I can do it at least. So I'm going to say my select. That's what I'm going to, and I spelled it wrong, my select. And I'm going to dispatch an event. And then I say new event. This is one of those things you have somewhere and you look it up when you need it. And it is a change event. So what element? The my select. What am I doing? I'm going to pretend that there was an event. And what kind of an event? A change event. And there's Psycho from the start. Questions for the recording. Happy Halloween. I will, as normal, hang out, answer some questions.